coming here to speak what Rabash's speech, I'm walking away. Rabash's speech and Ravit's reaction to this is, yeah. All of us, Ravit, all of us go through in our lives like a sense that they're people who are just born special. I always liked reading stories of our greats. I still enjoy reading stories, important to me, and I like telling my children about the greats of our people, because we have many, many greats, but that they're human beings who process to work. They're us, and we're greats too. And clearly you speaking, you're great. So that's what you're saying is just true. It even bothers me sometimes as a Rebbe or Rav, somebody asks you a question, you could look up. The Rambam says, like as if you're like reviewing Rambam. Well, it's a Gemara and you just give one look of your eyes and you reinforce the kids, the smart ones, the brilliant ones. There were Gedolim and Tzaddikim who were brilliant, no question. And there were Tzaddikim who were average and below average intelligence. And everything in between, it's like processing and working and becoming is something that's just true. And when we share, my Rebbe, to the point that I wasn't sure how big my Rebbe is because he was so honest to his flaws. And now, trust me, I know today how big he is and was, but he was very honest to the flaws of human being. And it's actually a big thing. It's a big thing to share, to share with our children, our Talmidim, our humanists. I think it's a very big thing. Again, where that balance is, how much these are good questions, but human beings, human. We have humanists with this big, big soul. I wish I called Shlomo Guri this. When I traveled around this year, I went with somebody. He would stand on this stage. He's a tzaddik. His name is Shlomo Guri. I believe he's been here. He is a beautiful person. Wherever we went together. And there's a song that he sang. I wish he would sing it now. There wouldn't be a dry eye here. And we've sang it. He sang it to tens of thousands of Yidden. The words are peel off the klipa, peel off the shell, and reveal the pneumius of every single Yid. Every Yid has a neshama or is a neshama. Reveal off the greatness, the neshama that is every Yid. It's just true. People think like it's meant for a struggling kid. It's meant for a kollel guy in BMG. A family lives in Bnei Brak, a family from Teaneck, a family from LA. Souls, neshama. It's for us all. It's what I've learned from the guys in the yeshiva. I did not live like I was a neshama till I met the guys, till I spent time with the guys and started chapping it, and it's changed my life. So what you say, Ravid, our possibility of connecting to specialness, it's not meant for a certain class. The Gemara Nedarim actually says that many Talmidei Chacham's kids go off the derech, struggle. It doesn't say the number, but it says Einoi Matzui. This is an awkward thing. I have learned one Masechta cover to cover with my dad. My father's my Rebbe. And I was zeicher to learn one Masechta, only one Masechta. I've learned other parts. I learned Tazav with him. Nedarim always is a favorite of mine. I've learned it with my father, cover to cover, Nedarim. Every Ran, Gemara Rashi Ran, we learned the entire Masechta, every single Ran, every word in the Ran. And it's the only Masechta I learned with him. And in that Masechta, this is awkward, on Daf Pei Aleph, and I'm learning this with my dad, and it says, why do many Talmidei Chacham's kids go off the derech? And I'm learning this with my father, the Talmud Chacham. And the Gemara gives 6 reasons, I believe. And one of the reasons is nobody should ever say it belongs to a certain section of Klal Yisrael. Very dangerous. The rabbi families, those. No. Nobody should ever. Mayrasha Kehilas Yaakov. It belongs to the entirety of our people, everybody. It's interesting, the theme of the year, Rabbi Wilk told me the theme of the year is Achrayus, responsibility. The story of Aleinu Lahakim, Yeshayahu, is a beautiful story. Here you have somebody, Yeshayahu was a king, his grandfather was an epic Rasha, Menashe, who put in the Kodesh Kadashim, Avodah Zarah. epic Russia. He did some form of tshuva, which counts. A Yid does tshuva, and he did some tshuva at the end of his life, but he lived his life as a Russian and did damage to our people. He had in the Kodesh Kadashim, Avodah Zarah. His son, he did some form of tshuva at the end of his life, because that's what Yidden do. His son was continued to be a Rasha. And his grandson, if you were a betting man, it was not look good for his grandson, but his grandson saw one pasuk of the Torah. And his grandson changed his life. He saw the pasuk, Ar asher lo yakum es divrei HaTorah azos. He saw that if a person doesn't uphold Torah, then that's not good. And the opposite, of course, is Baruch. Blessed is the one, asher yakum es divrei HaTorah azos, who upholds the words of Torah. He saw one pasuk and he changed his life, Yeshio. I always think we read the oldest kinna, the oldest lament we read on Tisha B'Av is the kinna Yud Aleph that's about Yeshio. It's the oldest one. I would spend the whole day just on that kinna. If it was up to me, I spend a lot of the day on that. That's the kinna. I don't need to read anything else. Now, a very superficial version, if you don't get it, so people, they'll even write in the English, it's not true, please don't look at it this way, is we're lamenting on the floor, he was like the last great hope. His first Beis HaMikdash was like teetering. Yeshayahu rises as hope, and the hopes were dashed. So we're on the floor. I promise we are not sitting here 2,000 years later, because the last hopes were dashed. So just cry, stop. That's not the story. That's not what's being said. It's not what we're remembering. The last hopes that were dashed. It's not what we're being remembering at all. Yeshayahu was one of the great lessons that were always this close to Hashem. Yeshayahu is the son of a Rasha, the grandson of a Rasha. He's lost, and one pasuk strikes his heart, and he does tshuva and brings all of Am Yisrael to tshuva. His chet, I cry over his sin, is he thought Klal Yisrael was shut tzaddikim, that he didn't want Parai, the lame Parai, wanted to cross to Eretz Yisrael to fight the Assyrians, and Yeshayahu said, no, we're so holy, not only can anybody fight us, you can't use Eretz Yisrael for one country to fight another country. Cherev le'saver b'artzachem. And the Navi told him, no, we're not as holy as you think. And he refused to listen to the Navi. No, we're a holy nation. So his chet was seeing such beauty in Klal Yisrael, he refused to see any flaw. He certainly should listen to the Navi. And he certainly paid the price for a chet, but what a beautiful sin. He just saw beauty in our nation. And that is the oldest kinna, it's the most important kinna. I could say that because the only kinna that Yirmiyah the Navi told us to say, Vayikainin Yirmiyahu al Yeshayahu. And it's the oldest kinna we have, and it's the story that our people is close to Hashem. Galus is not all ugly. It's hard. It's tragic. Galus is beautiful. The Sfas Emes speaks about Galus. It's a beautiful story. It's the story of a people that love Hashem and Hashem loves us. Galus, we want the Beis HaMikdash because we belong to have our place for all of Am Yisrael. But it's been a beautiful story, and a story of a people that when everything could look, oh my gosh, it's so far, one pasuk could change everything. And he sees the pasuk. The Ramban writes about this pasuk. I love this. I like Minhagei Yisrael. I've increasingly liked studying Minhagim. What's the minhag here by Hagba? There are two minhagim. Do you do a 360 or two 180s? You know what I'm talking about? The guy lifts the Torah, and you're supposed to show it to everybody in shul. So you could do two 180s. So you pick up the Torah, and you could go halfway around, then you go back to the starting point, do 180 the other way. Or you should do 360. What do you do here?
I think 2 180s. They do?
I in yeshiva started just asking 360.
So, right, let's start and understand what you just did.
The Torah is different, but they also show 360. I started switching to 360 in yeshiva. You have a Svardish Torah here?
Yeah.
I like the in yeshiva we switched to 360 because I saw too many guys not showing the Torah. Two 180s, it confuses people. I remember a basketball player got drafted by his team, and I remember he said, I'm going to turn this team around 360. Like, no, don't turn it 360. So I'm going to turn this team around 360. I was like, that might not be the best idea. You might want to turn it 180. But it gets confusing to people. So I like in yeshiva the minhag. Now again, I don't see when you could switch them, and it's not so simple. It was people were doing both. I just pushed the guys to do a 360, to go all around. But the halacha is, is that you show the Torah to everybody in shul. And the Ramban explains that if you're strong enough to hold up a Torah, show it to somebody else. Achrayus, responsibility. Achrayus, responsibility. And the responsibility is to everybody in shul. The back right corner, the guys who always talk and they're disturbing the shul, show it to them too. Nobody's excluded, the whole shul. That type of yid, this type of yid, a bunch of below, we're all. It's only us. Only us. There's no them in Klal Yisrael. There's no such thing. Them. Those, no such thing. I don't care where somebody's from, and people have big differences. I am amazed by the histapkos of the family in Meah Sharm who lives with simplicity. The histapkos is lo yu'uman, and I'm amazed by the family in Efrat. The kids are on the front line risking their lives for Am Yisrael. I'm blown away by both. We are big enough for extremes. And there are big differences and complicated divide, but it's all us. The beauty is all ours. There has to be respect, and it's all us. There's no them. There's no such thing. That has to be understood. It's all us. And when you pick up the Torah, you show it to all of Am Yisrael. There's nobody you leave out. Go 360. If you want to do two 180s, okay, kavod. But everybody you show it to. Spin around, you show the Torah belongs to the entirety of our people. If you ever have Hagbah and you're watching Hagbah, Monday, Thursday, Shabbos, Kodesh, please understand, Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe Meirasha Kilas Yaakov. It belongs to the entirety of our people. Talmidei Chacham's kids go off the derech because it shouldn't be seen, oh, that's the rabbinic family. Those, no. It's not. It's just not that way. It belongs to all of Am Yisrael Torah. When I gotten very into Kedushas Levi the Barditchev, and I appreciate him a lot, he would travel in Elul, the holiest time of year. He would go to cities with Yidden very distant. And he'd come back Rosh Hashanah with hundreds of Yidden who were closer to Hashem. And what was his trick? He saw Yidden as precious. He saw himself as precious, and he saw Yidden as precious. All Yidden. There's no this type of Yid, that. The word from gets me so nauseous. I don't know if I'm from or not. I don't know what the word means. The word is ridiculous. It's canceled. Just a Yid. Yehudi. Since Simchas Torah, I used to call somebody I like a tzaddik. I realized I undervalued a Yid. Now I just say he's a Yid. She's a Yid. Tzaddikim. We needed like a title. You're amazed by somebody. If I would hear Ravit speak before Simchas Torah, Ravit is the name, right? Ravit. I need Hebrew. Somebody has to train me, Elma. But if I would meet Ravit before Simchas Torah, I'd call you a Tzaddikas. Today I call you a Yehudi, a Yid, a Jew. Because I lost the sense of the word is magical. A Yid means something. We're at an age people asking identity. Identity is the question of the day. Kids are struggling, and this question's identity. I'm a Yid, it's my construction, it's who I am. It's who I am, it's deep inside. I've studied and worked and learned the Svarim that the Torah Savram speaks about it a lot, and other Svarim, to find out what does it mean to be a Yid. But it's the deepest place inside of us. It's a creation. We're Yidden. It's like who we are, and it's very precious. A Yid is powerful. Rabbi Wilk asked in the office and mentioned all of us are engaged, achrayus, responsibility, and we're answering the call. Yeshayahu said, Aleinu lahakim. It's on us to do something, to bring our light, to shine our light. If you could pick up the Torah, show it to everybody. And we're answering that call of Aleinu Lahakim. It's on us achrayus, responsibility to show. When you care, my Rebbe said to me that if you don't care, chinuch is the best job. You're off in the summers, you get off at a pretty early time in the day. Chinuch's a great job. He said if you care, it's a terrible job. He said there's so much pain. It's my Rebbe. It's my Rebbe said there's so much pain. There's a lot of pain and frustration, real. And people have challenges, there's pain. And how do you look at when it's not when we don't feel successful? A kid in the class, and you're trying, working, figuring out, and it's not going. How do you respond to that? It's people's lives, and it's not going. And even your own love, it's not a question of what you say to somebody. You want to love this person, you don't. You want to love this person. It's not to say I love you. It's inside. I want to look at this person. I can't. As something precious. I want to see his soul, and I can't. A lot of struggle and real. This is not a pretend to say to kid like. It's not what we say. It's what do we see? What are we thinking here? How is it hitting us? And we want, and we're examining in ourselves. When I see somebody and I can't see him as a precious soul, there's a blockage right here, not in him. Blockage in him, in me. And I'm trying. I ask myself, what's blocking? What's blocking? What's impairing your vision? Why does this person hit something that doesn't allow you to see who they are? And it's a battle. It's a struggle. And what do you do when you don't feel successful? I will asked right in the office. I wanna share something. Avram Avinu davens for Stom. That's a remarkable story. Avram's prayer for Stom is a remarkable story. Seems like a prayer that's totally weird. Avram and Stom are exact opposites. Avram's prayer for Stom is so remarkable. They're a country that stands for everything opposite. It's the foil of Avram. Avram is kindness, chesed, and Sodom is against kindness. Sodom stands against kindness. Now, whenever you read something biblical, what I promise I have met Sodom, I can explain it. Say, what's Sodom against kindness? Tell me a person in the world who stands against kindness. But Sodom holds that kindness kills. Don't pity anybody. Doing chesed, what they're a nebuch. Teach people. Sodom stands for din. If you're kind to somebody, you treat somebody as a nebuch, and you're actually hurting the person you're kind to. And Sodom punishes kindness. It teaches people weakness. It teaches people they can't. And let people understand. Earn it, you get. Don't earn it, you don't. And there's Sodom voices even today. And Avram Avinu's brand of chesed, Sodom completely misses. Sodom, in a certain sense, there's a type of chesed that comes from pity. And that's not Avram. We might even stand with Sodom on that. But they don't understand in Avram. Avram Avinu's chesed is a chesed that comes from celebrating people. It's my honor to serve you. I'm blown away by you. Avram Avinu's chesed is Adonai, my masters. He says to people who seem to be idol worshippers, he calls them my masters. Al no savra miyal avdecha. Please, it's my honor I want to do for you. Avram Avinu's kindness changes a person's life. When Avram Avinu would serve a meal to somebody, they'd walk away and thank Avram. He'd say, thank God, and they become God-fearing. Just like that, it's Pasha. Because Avram saw their soul, they recognized their soul. When Avram fed a person, he was like, whoa. By the time the meal was over, Avram would point to Shemayim, and the person was serving Hashem. The chesed uplifted, the opposite of Sodom. But Sodom stands counter to Avram, and Avram davens for Sodom to be saved. He prays to Hashem and begs. When Avram Avinu is saying in his prayers, there's no place in the world that's so tamei and devoid miloi chalartz kavayda. He said it can't be that there's just destruction there. This is a world of kiddush shamayim. Hashem, please don't destroy Sodom. Let it be from them good things come and a light shines. The world's full of godliness. There's no place on earth. They're out. They're bad. Godliness is everywhere. And he prays for Stein. Besides Avram, I want to get back to that prayer, which seems to be quite a bit of waste of time. Stein was destroyed. But then I want to talk about Avram's student light. Avram has a student light that's very singled out. It speaks about the nefesh asher asu b'charan and light. Of Avram's tens of thousands of people Avram Avinu impacted, there's one guy light who's his nephew, his prized Talmud, and it's the Talmud that gets away. His Talmud engages in gneva and stealing, and Avram Avinu says, you can't be with me. My world is kindness. It's caring about the next one, and you're stealing the opposite. You're stealing from other people. He parid nami alai. Under these conditions, you got to leave. And Avram Avinu leaves Avram. Light leaves Avram. In one of the saddest psukim in the Torah, Light books out from Avram. He leaves. Vayisa light mikedem. Light leaves mikadmusa shalom. When he leaves Hashem, he leaves his Rebbe Avram. It's like the epic failure. And Light doesn't just leave Avram, he moves to Stein. You leave Avram as one thing, he goes to Stein. Light is the epic, the one that got away. And any observer of history, Light is the Talmud that didn't work. Failure. All your teaching, all your years, does he show a ray of light? Yeah, in Sedaim, Light does Achnasa Sarchim. Some light, but he's in Sedaim. Light is the one that got away. And by all extent, there's some light in Sedaim, he does Achnasa Sarchim, but distant from Avram is the one that got away. Except to anybody who studies world history, Mashiach comes from Light. Light's daughters give birth to Mayav, a nation that did a lot of damage to our people. Mayav, a despised people who are not allowed to become Yidden. But a Mayavi man can't become a Yid, a Mayavis can become a Yid. And from Mayav comes Rus, Ima Shel Malchus, the mother of Mashiach. And if you're a little more patient, Mashiach comes from Light. If you're a little more patient, Avram Avinu's prayer, which looked so rejected and meaningless, saves Sedaim, they're not enough tzaddikim. From Sedaim comes Mashiach. Light, who survives, and his daughter who gives birth to ultimately to Rus, Mashiach comes from there. Avram Avinu's prayer was very powerful and listened to. People like saying, like, a prayer, there's no wasted prayer. Hashem's a Shemei Tefillah, he'll give something. It's not, there's no wasted prayer. It doesn't mean, well, if you daven for this, at least you'll get something else. No. Every prayer, the deepest place of our prayers, has impact. Hashem made me have a deep one, there's an impact. Avram prays for Sedaim exactly what he prayed, that there has to be a light on to the world. Mashiach comes by way of Sedaim. Through Light, through his daughter, to Rus. Exactly Avram Avinu's prayer, just the deepest realization of his prayer. And the student that gets away, Avram Avinu's student who didn't work, Mashiach comes from him. So understand, it's so complex. We have such a small vision. He wasn't successful. She was a failure. She's not. Be careful. Be careful. We have a very narrow view. There are bigger things than we know. Our job is to shine our light, Aleinu Lahakim, to answer that call. Our measuring of the successful one, well, of course we want nachas. And we have plenty of nachas, but we also have very little tools to judge success and failure. Many people, we may say, if anybody was around now, would put Light in the side of epic failure, and it was one of the great successes of Avram Avinu. Mashiach comes from there. And that obviously has its shrushim in Light's Hachnasas Archim and Sedaim. In Avram Avinu's impact on Light, of course it has its shrushim there. So I think we have to be extremely careful in our sense that we're human, and certainly times that we have a sense and it fails to us, it feels like failure. our judgment is very narrow and small of what's success and failure. So I think that's an important thing to be aware. We're human and we have to measure things. We have no choice but to give our measuring stick, just to ask ourselves where to put our efforts and how to put our efforts. And any Rebbe, any institution, any Mora measures and tries to figure out, are we being successful or not? But I also think it would be silly not to keep in mind that we're very limited. We do that only as a hishtadlus to see where we should put our efforts, and it's a hishtadlus we make. But boy, is it narrow and limited. And remember that we would have put light, and we would have said we better adjust our system. And Mashiach came from there. So really understanding deeper yet, shine our light. It's in Hashem's hands. It's not even the word. In a very deep way, it's not the word that like without us it's all going to be lost. It's not that way. It's not that way. It's the opportunity to shine, to stand with Hashem, to shine our light, which we have a responsibility and an achrayus to do, to shine, to give our light, to give what we know. What we know, we are obligated to share with our people. We can hold up the Torah, show it to the whole crowd. But also understand that there's so much, it's in Hashem's hands. It's in Hashem's hands. We partner with Hashem. We have a partner, and Hashem gives us that possibility of partnering with Hashem. I wanted to share something from the Berditchever. It wasn't what I was planning on saying, but I mentioned the Berditchever. I just go right there. So I want to share something that he would speak about a lot, that we could all give over in our classrooms. Nothing different than we're saying, but I want to say it in the way the Berditchever said it. There is a bechina, there's an aspect of Hashem of Zeh. When we saw with clarity, we said Zeh Keli. Zeh is one way we point to Hashem, Zeh. Zeh means pointing, we experience God, and we point to Hashem. Zeh Keli, we point to Hashem. There's another aspect of Hashem. It's very complex, very. And the aspect of our Ditcher spoke a lot is Hashem b'chinas zois. Me'es Hashem hoisa zois. There's an aspect called zois to Hashem. Zois is an aspect, Hashem in the feminine. Zeh is masculine, and zois, I'll ask the Ivrit teachers here, but I think it's true. Zois is lashon nekeva. And we refer to Hashem as Zois, means Hashem is a mekabel. He accepts and takes. Zeh is the giver and Zois is receiving. What's Hashem b'chinas Zois? And it means that Hashem wants us in our avodah. There's a b'china of Zois. It's wild. Hashem wants us. I'm afraid to say publicly needs us. Privately, I'll tell you that. But Hashem Zois is Hashem wants. Our avodah matters. A lot. Hashem wants it. He wants the avodah of every single person. A lot. That's a bechina of Zois. We whisper, a Yid says Shema Yisrael out loud. Shema Yisrael, Hashem L'kein Hashem. Then we whisper, Baruch Shem Kivayim Machusay. We whisper because it's chutzpah. I heard a Rav who I admire a lot say Hashem needs us, and did he get blasted? He got blasted. He said publicly Hashem needs us, and I heard people, the Berditchever writes this all the time, but this Rav, the only thing you're supposed to whisper it, he said it out loud. So he got yelled, whisper Baruch Shem. Why do we whisper Baruch Shem? Shema Yisrael Hashem L'keinu Hashem Echad speaks about Hashem's awesomeness. That's objective, needs no help. Baruch Shem Kivayim Machusay Olam V'ed says that Hashem wants us to serve Him. He wants it a lot. And we matter. And it matters. Each person's journey and story and success matters a lot. I feel like a teaching environment, and I do say this was old school. It was a mistake. We'll do tshuva for it. There was a sense you learned, and each student behave, and information was taught. I think is a big, deep lie to that. Do I matter? My story, my journey, how how this is hitting me. And Zeis says that the journey of every Yid's service, every Yid's light, every Yid's perspective matters a lot. The Barditcher spoke about this a lot. And he says, Me'ez Hashem Zeis, Gzeira from Shemayim. We matter as a pella. What does he want? If I do or not matters, yes. Yes. I want each person. That's what it means. That's the tzimtzum of the world. That Hashem made a world that it matters a human being being Mekadosh Shem Shemayim. That we're capable of Kiddush Shemayim. And there's such a thing called Chil Hashem. It's crazy. Matters? It matters. It's called Zeis. And he niflois beinenu. It's a pella to us. It's wild. It's like a pella. He niflois beinenu. It's a pella. It's true. We whisper. K'vod Malchusay. What's K'vod Malchusay? People serving Hashem. People, and it matters. It's significant. Baruch Hashem. We whisper because we can't be arrogant. And the flois, it's from Eis Hashem. It's from Hashem. Hoisa Zeis. Is this bechin of Zeis? The Rosh at the Seder says, Mo'a avoida Zeis lachem. What's the Zeis? Do we really matter? That's the Rasha. Mo'a avoida Zeis lachem. What's the Zeis? The Rasha challenges Zeis. My whole Seder this year, Pesach, was about this. I wanted everybody, myself included, at the Seder to understand our avoida matters. This, to me, is the Leila Seder. A Yid counts. That's Yitzias Mitzrayim. Each person has a Kiddush Shemayim. Each person has what to bring. And that's the Yatzah Nishmasam in that Gemara we learned before the Neshamas came out. Each person counts and matters significantly. So I had a Seder, and I'm talking about Zeis. I'm talking from the Barditch, but many Mekayers. We're speaking about the Seder, the Avoid of Kol Yachid v'Yachid. Every individual matters. In the middle of the Seder comes in a Yid. Beautiful Yid. He's a Chazan who's been through a lot. And he comes in the middle of the Seder. My whole family, we have a tremendous respect. There's somebody we've met recently. Beautiful Yid who's been through a lot. He's a bacher, an older bacher, a lawyer, a beautiful, brilliant person. And he came into my Seder. In the middle of the Seder, he doesn't know what we're talking about, what I'm in the middle of. And I'm just talking the Barditchev, Bechina Zeis, that's the whole Seder. He comes in, and I need to hear Reb Aaron's a chazan. He said, Yid who's been through a lot. He's a beautiful Yid. I'm like, Reb Aaron, give us a niggin. Sing for us. I said, sing for us. Any song in the world of Aaron. It's always going to be a Kalbach, 9.5 out of 10. But he comes in, and Bashkochas Hashem, he did not hear what the Seder was about, and right off the bat, the song he sings is the Barditchev niggin. Hashem smiled and hugged us. He came in, and he did the Barditchev niggin. He sang the one song that Klal Yisrael has, a song I love, and he sang the Barditchev niggin. That's what he sang, this Rav Aaron, this Chazan Aaron. But this idea of Zeis, we have the opportunity to share all the teachings with the students that each one's journey matters and significant. It matters, your story. I have information that's precious. We have Torah and we want to share, and your journey, your engagement of Torah matters, and you matter. Each person noticing and caring brings each person into the world of acquiring Torah, relating to Torah, understanding Torah, really being a mekabel of Torah. Their journeys matter a lot. And bringing them to this world of Zeis, that our avodah matters, our service, our mitzvahs matter a lot. The most precious thing in yeshiva to me, the mitzvah of yeshiva is tefillin. Every people have their mitzvah they love. Tefillin by me is like, and guys can come in any time of day. A guy comes in, I always want to put on in public, don't hide. I don't care if it's 6 at night, it's a few minutes till Shkia, the morning, the afternoon. Guys come in and they put on their tefillin, it's to die for. Guy comes in, he puts on his tefillin, says Shema Yisrael Hashem. Tefillin, the glory of a Yid, that a Yid is, it's the crown of Torah of a Yid, that a Yid gets his crown and a Yid comes in and puts on tefillin. So this Bechina of Zeis, all of us knowing ourselves, our avodah matters a lot. Our avodah matters, that's this Bechina of Zeis, our own journey matters a lot. not to discount anybody's journey, not to even subscribe failure. No deeper. If we bring our and shine our light, there's good things there. There's a student, somebody I'm close to, who moved far out, deep in Tennessee. He's a brilliant musician, and we're close. I love him, and he was not in our community, not close, not living with anybody in our community. And shortly after Simchas Torah, he sent back to me that I feel I'm a Yid. That was an awakening. I'm a Yid. So he's shining his light deep in Tennessee, shining his light. He had a akara, I'm a Yid. It hit him deeply and profoundly. So even I want to say that when we weigh success and failure, there's so much we don't have access to. You might know something I don't. We don't know the tikkun of each soul, what their tikkun is, what their light is. We don't have so much access to everything. We definitely have a picture, we think. We hope for our own children. We have pictures and things we hope. We don't know the tikkun. We don't know the Kiddush Shemayim. We just don't. It's just that we can pretend, we can think, and we're allowed to have dreams and a picture. Bring what we can. Aleinu lahakim. Bring what we can. Bring what we can and shine the light at what we can in a healthy, beautiful way, and it leaves an impact. I picture each kid, what that does. Rabbi Dubin comes in and plays a song for a kid. That's deep. That's profound. The Rebbe took time and played a song and sang with guys, sang with girls. There's so much we don't know. We don't know a lot about people's journey that's powerful and has a big impact. There's a pasuk in Daniel. Could be I like it because my name is Daniel, but I like this pasuk a lot. And it says about Rebbeim and Moros, it says about us, Matztike harabim, those that are matztik the rabbin. I think it means look at people in a good way. But Matztike harabim, which Chazal say means teachers of children, kikoichavim la'olam ya'iru. If I'm not getting the words exact, they will always shine like stars. Now in bottom I say they shine like the sun. Why like stars? It says that teachers, Rebbeim and Moros of children, are stars, and they'll always shine like a star. Why does it say like a star? Say like the sun. The best shine is the sun. I just came from Lake George. I go with the yeshiva. We go for a good part of the summer. And I came from Lake George, and there's a lot, you see the stars. So I'm just coming from that. My wife and I went on a walk. We never saw stars like this in our life. It's very dark there. It's the Adirondacks, and you can see stars. The night is it's beautiful. So to call people here shining like stars is quite the compliment. I never saw it in the city. You'll never see stars like that. The amount of stars, crazy amount, and the beauty of the star. The star is cool. I like also that which shines at night. I think there's something cool. The sun shines by day, is powerful, but stars are cool. Stars are cool. My father just put out a sefer called Pnei Levana. We're descendants of the Pnei Yeshua. My father just put out a sefer on Shas about a month ago. So he has a chiddush on every page of Shas, every amud, I think every daf in Shas. He put out, it's called Pnei Levana. Now the moon, Yeshua was called the moon to Moshe Rabbeinu's son. It's my father's name. And Yeshua is called the moon to Moshe Rabbeinu's son. And moons are very cool because the sun has a gorgeous shine, but it doesn't reach at night. And the moon, which has no light of its own, reflects the sunlight to places the sun can't reach. And we're a people who count after the moon. Most of the world keeps a solar calendar, we keep a lunar calendar. And the moon is very important to a Yid because we're all moons. We reflect the light of Hashem to very dark places. And we shine a light to places that only we can reach. Each of us in our families, our communities, our stories, our unique situations shine a light that only we could shine there. We're very much moons. It's interesting, there's a musician that kids of today love. And I have a tough time. I love the person. I'm friends with him. I become friends with this musician. I was just giving a shiur recently. His wife was there, and I like him and his family, incredible people. His music I struggle with, and my kids love it, and the guys in yeshiva love it, and my kids have told me, as you work on emotions, you're going to like it more. It speaks to today's generation. I would be curious. I would ask by hands who like it, but I don't want to make it that if you like his music, then you don't need your therapist to do a good job, our therapist. You don't like it, keep working. I don't want to make it like that. It's interesting. I was talking about Shlomo Guri. Shlomo Guri, this bacher, listens to the music, the same music I hear, and I'm like, whoa. He listens and sings for me, and I'm like, I'm in. He's my moon. Somehow, it's crazy. I promise I'll hear the song. He listens to the song. To the point, people play me songs as yet I ask him, listen and play it for me, and then I love it. Somehow in his voice, and not because he has a better voice, his interpretation of the song, he's my moon. Every sunshine has a moon. We would not know the Torah of the Baal Shem if not for the moon called the Maggid of Mezrich. Reb Nachman's Torah would have been lost on Klal Yisrael if not for his moon, Reb Nassim. Every sun has a moon. Moshe Rabbeinu's sunshine we would not have without Yeshua was his moon. There's always somebody who can hand it to the masses in ways that you couldn't get it from the sunshine. That's how it works. We've had a few suns in our history and then they're moons. And there's a Torah that I would like to get. I get it through, I don't learn Reb Nachman's Sfarim straight. I don't understand it. There's a place I get it. It's my moon for Reb Nachman's sun. The moon is very important, and it shines light in places. We're all moons. Our entire people is a moon, and we count after the moon. So when I hear that teachers are the stars of the night, the stars do have some light, but I like that they shine at night. I like all the light of the night is cool. But why are teachers of youth called stars? Call us suns. Everybody here is a sun. And what I want to suggest is the sunlight, when we see it shine, you're looking at the sun. I read about stars. When you see the light of a star, the star might not even exist anymore. Because it takes a long time to get here. It's possible the star is long gone. It's a light that endures after the star. Might not even be. It might be or it might not be. It takes a long time, millions. It takes a long distance, millions of miles to get here. So when you see the star, the light of a star, I don't know if you're seeing the star, you're seeing the light that once shone, and it endures. Teachers of children shine like stars is the pshat. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know this right Dubin song. None of us will only know Seif Davar Akol Nishma. It's a brilliant light and a beautiful light that shines like the light of a star. You don't know its impact, and the star may be in Olam Haba after 120 doom, and the light shines and endures for all eternity. That's the teachers of youth. It's not always, even kids themselves, some kids appreciate. I have a first grade Rebbe who's come to my house. I promised the Rebbe who changed my life, I don't know. I was in third grade and the Rebbe greeted nicely. It's in me, it lives forever. Hashem marks it down, but it shines like the light of a star. That its power is for all eternity, and the star moves away and doesn't even know what it's done. It's the light of a star. It's a different kind of light. That's the light of teachers of youth. It's a brilliant, beautiful light that's powerful, that has impact. Somebody who's positive. I was here last year. One of the amazing teachers who's here now spoke about his own youth and a teacher he appreciates. And the story that was said over was mind-blowing. And that person, those cases, to go back to the teacher and thank and appreciate, but how much is in us that we ourselves aren't even aware, made an impact, an eternal impact, a lasting and powerful impact. Teachers of youth shine like the stars. They leave impact. So all of us have the opportunity to shine our light, the beautiful light of a star that reaches the dark in the dark, and maybe other things aren't there, and its power endures a long time. For all eternity, the power of the light of the star. So that's the opportunity of us all. We can share more. I don't know if people can ask. What time is it? No, I want to say it's interesting questions. I have no more answers than anybody here. I happen to love questions, but I don't like question and answer. I like questions. The things that we worry about are questions. Kids of today, it's interesting. Kids of today don't quickly ask. In our day, when people were feeling less, questions. It's very private. Who said you have a right to questions? Who said I'm going to ask you my deepest worry? So it could be shallow if you want,